We've got Andy, thanks. We've got Darren with us now. Darren, well done. A nice Christmas present for you.
Yeah, they went about the job really well, I thought. Professional, they looked tight, they were solid. Probably could have moved the ball a little bit better, I felt, first half. You know, if you're into the wind and you're going to try and knock long balls, then you know they've got to be on target. And unfortunately, we were a little bit sloppy first half, but we restricted them to probably, I think, 2 half chances in the whole game. So, you know, great respect to the players. They went about the job really well, and 2, I think, possibly flattered Blyth in the end.
Flying start to the second half. There was 2 or 3 shots rained in early on, and then we got the goal, what we thought was the goal, which I've never seen that before. Everybody was lined up waiting for the restart, and then the referee went across to the referee's assistant and changed his decision. Did you find out about that one?
Yeah, the referee actually changed his mind. He gave a goal, but he thought that McNiven had put it in. So as he's given the goal, he's then been asked to go and ask the linesman about the offside situation, and the linesman had said yes, David was offside. So he then went against his first judgment and gave offside. So, you know, they responded pretty well to that, because to score after 3 minutes into the second half would have really damaged Blyth and set us up nicely. But you know, we had to dig in then for another 20 minutes or so, and then obviously, you know, we're well worthy of 2-0 in the end.
Yeah, for half an hour. I mean, the second half the game was played in the Blyth half of the field, and 2 goals inside 3 minutes. Gareth Arneson again, he's got his confidence going. He's playing really well.
He's doing really well. When he's moving and he's confident like that, he's a real handful in this league, and he has been for the last 3 seasons. He had that little, shall we say, lack of confidence, dipping confidence a couple of months ago, and he wasn't making his runs, and he didn't feel confident in front of goal. But strikers, what you have to do is just keep putting yourself in there, because it'll turn for you. And it, you know, it's changed in the last 6 weeks for Gareth, and he's right on flow at the moment, and can cause teams problems. You know, he's good outside the box, he's good inside the box. He's got, you know, a great attitude when he's on form, and his pace and his running, it was good again today.
And the second goal, Phil McCready, had to be finished, and I thought he took it very well.
Yeah, there was some neat passage of play before that, and Phil made a great run, which he's done recently. Again, his confidence has built in the last 5 or 6 weeks, and he split the defence, and he was found nicely and had a couple of touches and rolled it in the corner. So yeah, two in close proximity really killed it off, and then, you know, we sort of it was coasting really towards the end.
Now, I gave you that stat last week, Darren, about the fact that was poorest stat for Christmas points, but when we did our previous worst stat, we went on to make the playoffs. A couple of more interesting stats today. That was the first clean sheet at home. It's also the first time this season that we've put back-to-back wins together. Now, those are vital, those are important building bricks, aren't they?
Yeah, those are 2 stats that we were aware of, myself and Tony. Consistency is massive in this league. You know, you'll see results go a little bit topsy-turvy again today, and the teams that have been consistent, and the teams that have got those players that have got the consistency in them, it is a frustrating point of view from managers in this league when I speak to quite a few of them, and the lack of consistency from individuals and then from teams is frustrating a lot. But you know, the teams that are up at the top predominantly are the ones that have got, you know, money to spend, and then what you get is a calibre of player who can go consistent. Now, we've got that in our dressing room. We just lost confidence early on in the season, and now I think the performances have been consistent over the last 6 weeks. We just had to pick up some more points that would have justified the way they've been playing. So that was another thing that we stressed, that over the Eastwood and then the 2 Blyth games, if they were consistent with that performance and that attitude, then they'd pick some points up. So we've got, you know, we've nearly done what we wanted, and you know, 7 points from the 9 was what we were looking for, but now we've set ourselves up nicely to possibly get more than that.
You've said during the build-up to this game, Darren, that it wasn't about yourself or Tommy Cassidy coming back to the club. It was about how the teams performed, and you'd be more satisfied than imagine that Tommy would be. That's the first time he'd seen his side, but you'd be happy with the way your team responded, sir. Yeah,
excellent. And I think from Tommy's point of view, the game being called off last week didn't really do him any favours, and you know, I know deep down he must have been disappointed he wasn't able to stand in the dugout and feel the game today. But you know, he's an experienced guy, and if anybody's going to turn Blyth round, I'm sure Tommy will give it his best. He's a football man, and he'll be determined to be successful there. So we wish him all the best after Monday, and you know, let's hope that he does well for them. But today, yeah, it was about our players responding to all the commotion of Tommy coming back and so forth. But they've looked after themselves over the Christmas period, and today they were more than worthy of points.
And now you've over a weekend before the next game, and of course it is Blyth, and you'll be looking for more of the same, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, you know, Blyth's situation was made harder by the centre half getting injured, although they'll get one back from suspension. But we'll be talking about what we do next Monday in training this week rather than what Blyth do. I think if we can perform a little better with the football today, then we can go and get at least a point next Monday.
Now, it was nice to see a man from the past, really. We'd almost forgotten he was part of the squad. He's been out that long. Dan Wordsworth. What's the problem? Would he have been able to come on if need be today?
The only thing that would have hindered him would be his fitness levels. They're not where they should be at the moment, but there's a reserve game on Thursday, so he'll be able to take part in that. We've got a training session for everybody on the Saturday as well, so we've just got to maintain it slowly now with him and pick his lung capacity up a bit more and get his legs moving. His ankle is okay now. He's been training with us over the last couple of weeks, so good to see him back. He's a good character, and having moved back to this level to get the pre-season that he did under his belt and then find himself injured was a bit of a blow for him. So he's had a tough 3 or 4 months coming back to this level, but he's a great character and a tough character. So yeah, good to see him.
And what about the other two longer term injured at the moment? That's Johnny Wright and Stuart Green.
Both have done some running today. I think possibly there's another couple of weeks in both yet before we'll see him on a training ground. So we're hoping that both will be back sooner rather than later, and then if we pick up a few more points as they arrive back, it gives everybody a lift.
Darren, well done today. Nice Christmas present, and let's hope we continue in the new year.
Yeah, thanks a lot. All the best to the